What is going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Bars Show. I am your host, Purple and Gold Bars, at your service, aka Mr. AI Man 3000, aka Supreme Overlord, at your service, guys. Welcome back to the place where you're going to get the most optimistic, positive, out of the box commentary that you're going to find anywhere on this YouTube. We are going to be starting a whole brand new segment this afternoon or this evening. We are going to be highlighting every week, every Wednesday. We are going to be doing. I haven't set the name just yet, but I'm thinking it's the toss up between the underrated report or the Dark Horse Diaries. I want to spend some time talking about the teams that the mainstream media doesn't cover, the teams that the big YouTube channels just laugh about or ignore entirely, because I know what that feels like as a Minnesota Vikings fans. There's been so many times where we have like an amazing game, a blowout game. We beat a really good team. And then Monday morning, they're talking about the Cowboys, the Packers, or the Chiefs. In just because they lost or some BS, and then we get like a nice little 30 seconds at the end of the show, and like, all right, let's not forget, let's give it up for the Vikings and their impressive win, and all right, guys, see you later, after everybody's basically gone, right? So I want to put an end to that when it comes to sports talk on YouTube. We're going to give a voice to for the fan bases and teams that need it. We're going to cover teams that need that love. We're going to start with the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. Man, they had one heck of a game this last week. The Jaguars beat the 49ers 26-21 on the road in a big game, guys. The defense has been forcing turnovers this season, which is an awesome sign for an up-and-coming team. They had 4 takeaways against San Francisco. It's the 4th straight game for these Jaguars with 2+ takeaways. Does that remind you guys of someone? That reminds me of last year at the start of the season, where we just kept coming up with turnovers and turnovers and turnovers. And is it really a big surprise, considering the new coaching staff there is part of the Mike Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay coaching tree? So maybe there's a little bit of that Viking sauce down in Jacksonville that's proving to help them during this season of coming out, if that makes any sense to you guys. Travis Etienne had a massive game, 124 yards, a touchdown against San Fran. Big ups to you, Mr. Etienne. What a heck of a running. There was a couple of those runs where I was like, oh man, this guy's something special. I forgot about Mr. Travis Etienne Jr. So I apologize to you, and I apologize to the Jacksonville Jaguars for forgetting about the potential and the players that you guys have. Parker Washington had an awesome game for the Jaguars with an 87-yard punt return for a touchdown. Incredible. Also, Bashul Tootin had a 54-yard kickoff return that helped swing momentum in that game when it counted the most. So special teams is looking pretty good out there in Jacksonville. So if you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, you guys have to be super happy at how this season's gone. You guys are 3-1. A lot of teams counted, a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of YouTube channels, the mainstream media definitely counted you guys out, but not me. I refuse to ignore and dog pile on these franchises, because I remember when we were there, and I can't stand by it any longer. Even the rookies were starting to have the ability to contribute in meaningful ways. Travis Hunter had a key 28-yard reception on a 3rd and long, which is huge. LeQuint Allen Jr. recovered a fumble. So, not like massive kind of like moments or highlights for people to kind of like, nod their or tip their cap to. But you know what? It was impressing nonetheless. We got Washington there. We'll go through that. Now there are some issues that are a factor for these Jaguars. So it is what it is. There are always going to be issues on any team, especially up and coming teams, as they're trying to find that consistency, that camaraderie, that continuity amongst all three phases of football. Now, penalties are starting to pile up. 12 penalties for 90 yards in the San Francisco game. Definitely one of the biggest contributing factors that helped San Francisco stay in the game. They had injuries to key defensive players, Foya Olukun, Traven Walker. Could so that could be signs that these Jaguars' depth is going to be tested over the next couple of weeks as those guys recover and get back out there. We also saw some offensive inconsistency. Their run game showed up against San Fran, but parts of their passing game have been sometimes quiet at times, and that just might be a factor of they have a new coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, so there's going to be a lot of new on that team. There's going to be a lot of new verbiage, new playbooks. It's just going to be different, and sometimes you just revert to what you remember, right? So sometimes that can cause some of these plays to look just terrible, like they did at times, but those are the growing pains that you want to have when you're an up and coming team here. Now, fingers crossed that you guys are able to, put a solid team, a solid year of rebuilding, kind of coming out, like a coming out party for you guys this year, where you guys kind of remind everybody that, you know what, you guys wrote our quarterback off. You guys wrote off our team and anything that we could do. And look at us now. So I'm excited to see what these Jacksonville Jaguars do in the upcoming weeks of the NFL. Right now, I know it is only a 4-game sample size, so there is not a lot of hard, uh, hard facts or conclusions that we can draw about this, outside of the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars are nice, uh, fun team to watch that right now seem to be zigging at the right time. And you know what, that kind of happens in development, and when you take something on for the first time, sometimes the things that you don't know also help you, unlike sometimes when they don't help you, right? So like I remember times uh in my professional career, in my gym career, all these things where sometimes I just zigged when I should have zigged, and I zagged when I should have zagged, and then the following week, or in a different game, I was zagging when I should have been zigging, and things just looked wrong. But I was still able to kind of salvage things, and it was just a work in progress, and it is all right for that to happen for these Jacksonville Jaguars. What an incredible game by a bunch of these players here. you know a couple notes that I grabbed about these Jaguars too. It looks like these Jaguars right now, as they're building a turnover centric identity, a team that plays hard defensively, and special teams are going to be doing a lot of the dirty work. So it's really nice and refreshing to see a young up and coming team doing so well. Now, let's move on to another team. Let me see if that takes me to the right team here. I want to move on to the Tennessee Titans, right? Not a lot of people are talking about them, and I get it. They're struggling. They're 0-4. They got a rookie quarterback that everybody was hoping to be lights out to start the season, but he's struggling, and it's to be expected right now. We're Vikings fans, so we see what that's like. Hold on a sec. Google Tennessee Titans. Where's their website? Is this it? Tennessee Titans. Let's go to photos. Let's go to game day photos. Here we go. Look at this team right there. Wow, I really like an underdog story. I really like. I'm a freaking romantic at heart. So I love seeing underdog stories. That's why I really love the Kurt Warner story. I love his background. I love his history. And just to see a guy that was basically almost completely out of the game to come back and do what he did and end up winning a Super Bowl. I love that type of story. You know what I mean? So, I love that's why I'm enamored with these Tennessee Titans, because I just really want them to start putting some things together and showing some flashes to show the rest of the NFL that they might they're still young, and there's still a lot of fun that we can get from these Tennessee Titans. That's why I want to spotlight them today on our our underrated report, or the Dark Horse Diaries, because going forward, every single Wednesday, we're going to be doing this segment at the end of the day where we're going to go over and talk about the unsung teams along the NFL, because I am sick of it. I will not stand for it any longer. These mainstream medias, publications and TV shows and the big YouTube channels don't talk enough about them. And I am going to put a spotlight everywhere in the NFL that needs. So if you guys have any friends that aren't Vikings fans but want to have a place to talk that talk, give me some insights from what you see as a Jaguars fan, a Titans fan, a Cleveland fan, whatever fan base you are, whatever it is, let them know. Tell them to come here every Wednesday. We will be having this live and highlighting and putting a spotlight on these unsung teams, because they are still there. They still matter. Their fan bases show up and are proud just as much as all the big teams. And so they deserve a little bit of love. And that's what we're going to be doing with this segment going forward. Now, the Titans the Titans got shut out last week. It was embarrassing, but making them have an 0-4 start, it is a rough start. I've seen a lot of people talk about how I don't care what happens all season. I'm already ready to give Cam Ward the benefit of the doubt and a pass until we see what coach and what offensive coordinator and what style of offense gets brought in for next year, right? Where then they're hoping to see and make some judgments based on his performance. But you know what? Um, I love what I'm seeing by the way that Cam Ward talks, man. In that post interview, he was quite fired up, and he was very critical of the team and himself. He used some strong language, and that's the fire, the passion that you want to see from a young leader in training, a young quarterback in training. Like if he didn't have that, if he was just very content, like, you know what? We'll wait till next year, and I'll get a new coach. If you had that kind of attitude, I'd be sounding the red alarms here. But I'm excited to see what happens throughout the season this year. I am so ready for Cam Ward to get his first NFL win of the season. They are going up against another 0-3 team. Mr. Zoe from In the Zone podcast in here. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the Titans can do. The coaching has definitely been under attack, and you know what? Brian Callahan has given them all the ammunition, but I want to ignore all that and say, you know what? I still believe, and I want to see good things from this team. This is a young, scrappy team. They go out there and try. They don't just go out there and fold. They may not perform like we want them to do, but it is what it is. And I want to talk. That's why I wanted to talk about these Titans. And you know what I mean? These fans also, even though they're having a rough time of it and they're at an 0-4 start, they need some love too. So we're moving on to the next team on the list. Let's see here. The New York Jets. Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, bring them on down. You know what? I like these new upstart. Oh, Justin Fields is starting this week. Oh, this offense is going to look. I like the way the offense looked in week one with Justin Fields. I see the potential. I see what Aaron Glenn is doing. To me, they don't look like the same old Jets. They may have the same record as those same old Jets, but they are different. They're just not producing like they would have wanted to. Let's bring some photos through the lens right here. Oh, look at that. We got some pictures of the team showing up. Ah, man, look at that. Let's find a good picture for us to find of, oh, look at that. Wilson freaking signing fan. Man, These guys love their fan base, and you know what? It's awesome to see. They deserve some love too. That's why we're going to talk about them a little bit. You know what? Jets running back, Braylon Allen is out with a pretty serious knee injury. He's got a sprained MCL from a kickoff return. So he's probably going to be week to week. MCL sprains are super, super hard to heal. That lateral stability in the knee is so crucial in the NFL. And if it's not strong enough, if it doesn't recover well, it can just linger for a long time. So thoughts and prayers for Mr. Allen out there. I really want him to recover and get out there and given the Jets all he has right now. The Jets are 0-4. Like I said, they seem like it's the same old Jets. Oh, Mr. Raps in there. Welcome, guys. We are doing a new series that's called I haven't decided. It's either going to be called The Underrated Report or it's going to be called The Dark Horse Diaries, because I have been so jaded at times about how the mainstream media and the big YouTube channels don't talk about our Vikings. And now that we're getting a little bit of traction, our fan bases are starting to grow, and we're starting to see more talk about us. There are still all these teams out there that nobody talks about. So I want to spend every Wednesday talking that talk and putting some of these teams under the spotlight. So if you guys know any fan bases or any friends that are from other teams, let them know, because I want to hear from them. I want to hear what they're seeing, their stories, so that way they have a place to kind of share. And that's what we're going to be doing every Thursday going forward. Now, the really cool thing about these Jets is that their offense looks different. I know they're not consistent right now. There's a lot of new, they have a new offensive coordinator and coach. They got a new playbook, new verbiage, new everything. So not everybody's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars when they have all these situations, or the Detroit Lions, where they seem to just still be able to find that groove regardless of all the change that's been thrust upon them, right? The Jets have not been able to do that, but I see the potential out there. Justin Fields looks like a freaking whole new guy. Did you guys see that run that he had last week? Oh my goodness. I know it was in a losing effort, but that little scramble, that boot out to the right and that scramble, and then all the way to the other side for the touchdown. Oh my goodness, man. Can we say Justin Fields may have arrived? I don't know. It might be too soon. But you know what? I'm excited for these Jets fan base. And I remember times when our team used to be a lot of raw talent and nothing else to show for it. And we would have some of these incredible flashes. And I'd be like, oh, I see the potential. And I would get so freaking pumped. And when I saw Justin Fields run that ball and scramble like he did and go for that touchdown, I was like, oh, man, this is going to be a fun team. So that's why we are talking about these Jets today. And that's why it's awesome to see. It's really awesome to see, guys. Now, let's move on. I want to move on to another team. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers for a little bit. Now, like always, the Panthers don't get any love anywhere. I don't even know if Chat Sports has a host for their team yet. It's that bad. They don't really get any love. And you know what? I get it. When you're a bottom feeder, when you're a team that is what nobody wants to talk. The mainstream media is like, oh, we're not going to get any views, we're not going to get any clicks. So screw them. I don't care, guys. This segment every Wednesday, we're going to be highlighting and putting the spotlight on these teams. Their offense has had some flashes, and they've also looked like the beginning of last year, where they just look completely discombobulated. They went, and then all of a sudden they come out and they shut out a team, a divisional opponent, which is a very hard thing to do. Every divisional opponent has a ton of notes and history and tendencies, everything. Locked away. So it's even harder to get some of these sneaky things, or these things that other teams don't expect to pull off against them. And they did a spectacular job against those Falcons. Now, they did struggle last week. I think they lost, right? If I'm not mistaken. But anyways, as much as people dog on Bryce Young, you know what? Sometimes you're going to have that face. He might end up being one of those guys that ends up being a reclamation project in a couple of years. And all these hard lessons that he's learning in Carolina might serve to be a foundation for his growth at a later time once he reaches a team that he can really learn and grow in. But the flashes are there. I've seen him do some fun stuff. I've also seen him do some extremely terrible stuff. I'm not going to lie either, but you know what? He is fun to watch, and there is a little bit of that excitement. And you know, I like it, you know. So big ups to you, Carolina. I know you guys have some passionate fans out there, and you guys deserve a little bit of the spotlight. Now, their offense. Oh, I already talked about that. Yeah, because Bryce had some. Oh yeah, 42-21 or whatever. Bryce Young had a decent opening drive against the Patriots, right? A lot of people thought it was going to be a lot closer game. I've been saying the Patriots are going to be turning some heads this year, and they definitely turned some heads last year or last week, even though it was against the Carolina Panthers, right? But you know, just like clockwork, Bryce Young kind of had some ups and downs, but you know, it is to be expected based on the situation that he's been thrust in and the amount of load and stress that he has to carry as that franchise quarterback. Now, the running back usage seems to continue to be split amongst Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowell and Trevor Etienne. There's no clear workhorse, but you know what? I like Chuba Hubbard because I've drafted him in fantasy leagues in the recent past, and he's done pretty decent as a serviceable third back and stuff like that. He has potential to break out. He's had some really nice games, but now we've got Rico Dowdle that's also, you know, playing at a high level which is put or higher level than expected. Same with Trevor Etienne, which, you know, that's what we're going to see when we have no clear workhorse. But it's a fun little competition that's going on there, and hopefully as the season goes on, one of their backs emerges as their workhorse. Who do you guys think is going to be their workhorse? I will like to stick to the probabilities and go with Chuba Hubbard. I think that he's got the experience to kind of take over control of that position, and then maybe Trevor Etienne or Rico Dowell will make a decent case for it. But that's my best guess. Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me see here. Now, I want to talk about some unsung heroes. I want to talk about the Jets backup running back with Braylon Allen injured. Someone like Isaiah Davis may see a bigger role going forward. Low profile players who are forced to step up often get overlooked, and that's when we've seen guys like Boston Scott or freaking Gainwell or guys that I remember that just kind of show up off an injury and just come out huge and put up some big names. There's no tape, there's no game planning around for that because it's just a big crapshoot. So let's see what he can do this week, and maybe he can have a little bit of a breakout game here and kind of keep that hope alive. You never know, the Jets might get their first win of the season. Now, rookie Cam Ward's been slammed or even disregarded or even not talked about all season, but you know what? I really like his attitude after this blowout loss. He was pissed, man. He had a lot of fire. He had a lot of criticism to throw on his team, on all three phases of the team. And I feel like that's the type of energy and passion that a young rookie quarterback should start out with. That sort of stuff you can't teach, and he already has it. So for me, he's already got an aspect of a NFL quarterback that I want to see, and so I'm excited to see him start to progress and develop as the season goes on, and hopefully he gets a nice tune-up game coming up. I was really hoping this Titans game or this Titans versus Texans game was going to be that tune-up game, but I forgot that it was a divisional opponent, and they really came out swinging, those Texans, and really took it to them. But hopefully, because they are on a last place schedule, they get themselves a nice tune-up game against another bottom feeder, and we can see some of the flashes that I really hope to see from Cam Ward, because I like that story. I love the underdogs, guys. It's probably why I became a Vikings fan in the long run. So I really want to see good stuff from Cam Ward this year. I don't want to just give him the benefit of the doubt and wait till next year. I want him to keep trying and keep pushing and hoping that he can get some good things out. Another thing, Travis Hunter, he's been up and down this year, but hey, that third and long catch that he made for like 28 yards or something like that, what an incredible play there, right when they needed him most. he was there, right? Flashes from rookies is what I want to see. And when I see big plays like that on third and long, it gives me such hope for these young guys, because I remember when we were like that as Vikings and we had is potential and freaking raw talent and nothing else. And when I saw our team show flashes, come up with massive stops, come up with massive gains, it was beautiful to see. And I remember that feeling of just like excitement. And I know that the Jaguars fan base was feeling that. So I really want to give an honorable mention to him, because he was incredible. But yeah, now let me see. I think that was basically everything. Were there any other teams? Let me pull up. Let me look here at my bottom feeders. Let's go through the teams one by one. And I want to say something at the very end of every live. We're going to take a moment to talk about every team in the lower half of the league and really say something nice and positive about them. And we're going to start with the lowest team on my power rankings, which are the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not going to be calling them the Bungles or anything like that, because that would defeat the purpose. They are the Cincinnati Bengals. Their fan base and their team still deserve some respect, and that's what we're going to be doing going forward on these Wednesday night lives. But you know what? Despite all the adversity and everything, they are primed to have one of those games where they just say enough is enough. We are going to fight with all our heart, and we're going to see what is really what this team is really made of. I know they don't have the greatest defense. I know their all-star quarterback is out. I know Jamar Chase, T. Higgins haven't been able to get any production. I know Jake Browning has struggled quite mightily against the two defenses in the last 2 weeks that I said at the end of the year, we're going to be the top 1 and 2 defenses. I'm not sure in which order that's going to be, but I said the Broncos and the Vikings are going to be the top 2 defenses at the end of this year. That was one of my bold predictions going into the season. So for Jake Browning to struggle like that, I'm not too surprised, but they have quite the task this week. Let me see if I'm not mistaken. They have quite the task this week. It's going to be rough. If I'm not mistaken, they're playing the Lions. Yes, they are playing the Lions. And they are at home, but this Lions team travels well. So, although I don't expect these guys to come out and win against the Lions, I'm hoping that this next game, they're able to put a couple things together, maybe get a nice highlight play here or there, outside of just lowlights that we've experienced out of them for the last 2 weeks. I have big hopes for this team to bounce back and do a little bit this week, and hopefully going forward they kind of save a little bit of faith or face. And hey, maybe it'll be just they might be able to catch a little bit fire just in time for them to bring, I don't know, Jameis Winston in there. Man, wouldn't it be a fun team to watch if Jameis Winston was out there throwing balls like with no disregard, eating W's on the sideline, even if they lose? And I think it'll be a fun team to watch. So hopefully we can see some good things from these Cincinnati Bengals. Ooh, the Cleveland Browns. We are facing them this week. There's a little bit of hope maybe on their team with Dylan Gabriel making the start, but it's a rough game for him to start. So we're really going to see what he's made of right off the bat. Maybe we might even see Shador tomorrow or this Sunday, depending on how bad it goes for them. But you know what? I think it's exciting to see them, taking matters in their own hand, really trying to do things instead of doing that thing that a lot of veteran teams do, or the old school way of thinking, where we're just going to stick with the old guy and we're just going to let him go, and we're going to wait till maybe week 7 or 8 or the right game when we're coming up against a bottom feeder or a team that's struggling before we put our rookie in there. No, I am very much against that notion, and I'm hoping to see that. Regardless of all the lumps that Dylan Gabriel and potentially Shador face this week, I still hope that they have a good rest of the season and are able to bring some fun to the games and some excitement for this Cleveland Browns franchise. Ooh, the Miami Dolphins, guys, man. Big ups to you guys. I did pick you guys to win against the Jets this week. That even though it was a terrible loss that you guys had with Tyreek Hill, but you know what? In times like these, there are players, young guys that are sitting in the wings, just dying for an opportunity, right? So a lot of these teams on the bottom, they are in that situation. And right now, you never know. We might see, just like Devin and Chain blew out of nowhere last year, the year before, right? Nobody knew who he was. And now look at him. He is a very good running back in this league. So maybe they have a little diamond in the rough they have no idea about that might end up showing up and breaking out this week. So hopefully we have a nice, fun game. And fingers crossed, no more massive injuries this season. I cannot take it. I was at the gym watching. I was warming up on the treadmill after during Monday nights because I went in the evening on Monday night, and it was the end of that game, and they were showing the highlights, and they went to go show that Tyreek Hill, and I almost fell off the treadmill because I had to like look down and look away, and because I just do not like that stuff. I hate seeing people get injured, regardless if they're liked or whatnot. I just think of their family. I just think of all the hard work that they've done to get to this point, and it just gets lost sometimes, especially if it's as bad as it is. Tyreek's been there, so he's made some money, so it's not as bad for him. But like when it happens to like a rookie or a young guy, man, it's just devastating. And their family just sitting there, if they have kids, grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad, just agonizing. It just kills me, guys. It kills me. So hopefully these Dolphins are able to kind of put some good fun games together for the rest of the season for their fan base, because they deserve it. The Dallas Cowboys. You know what? We're going to ignore all the notions and all the trash talk about these Dallas Cowboys, because you know what? That was a heck of a performance last week. Last week we were talking on the live with the boys, D Woods and I and Cody, and we were talking about and T-Bass, and we were talking about what to expect out of this game, and all of us gave the love to the Green Bay Packers. We thought they were going to go in there and embarrass these Cowboys. And the one thing I said, you know what? The Cowboys may not have a lot of things going for them, but they can boat race you. So if these Packers get in a boat race with the Cowboys, it may end up going bad for them. And they're sitting here with a tie, and that might be a big difference maker in the standings later in the season. So, man, and let's talk about that. Oh man, no, we're only going to be positive. We're not going to talk about the last couple plays there by the Green Bay Packers, because that was mind blowing. But anyways, it's all positivity on this one. Big ups to Dak Prescott and this offensive line. The way they were able to get some efficient runs out to open up their pass game. It was awesome to see that two gunslingers go at it. Let's be real. It was a fun game, although it lasted for so long and I was up for so late. It was beautiful to see. Let's be real. The Texans, the Houston Texans. Hey, you know what? They've been the laughing stock. They were the laughing stock for the first 3 weeks. And you know what? Last week, they came out with a big statement against a divisional opponent. I know they were needing to face a team that was struggling or on the up and up to kind of rebuild that confidence. And you know what? Big ups to Ruben out over at 713 Houston Sports, as well as the Texans fan base. You guys are celebrating hard after a shutout win, and you guys deserve it, guys. There was a lot of awesome things to see there, and big ups to you guys. Big ups to the Texans. So I think that you guys might be on the verge of identifying the things that you guys need to fix going forward, and maybe this slump might be this sophomore slump might be on the way out. It might be the tail ends of that. Come on, CJ. I've been dogging you and your fan base, especially Ruben, over the last years because of the audacity that Ruben had and your fan base had to come in and trash talk our Vikings. before we completely dismantled you. But you know what? You guys are doing great right now. And big ups to the Texans and what you guys have accomplished. Big defensive effort out there. And good job. Next, we have the Oakland Raiders. We're gonna finish with the Oakland Raiders here, guys. No, we're gonna do one more team. Um, the Oakland Raiders, guys. You guys have all the ingredients for a really, really fun, dynamic team. It's like I was saying that not every single team can take a whole bunch of new and just head out there and look like they've been playing together for a long time. Sometimes you zag when you're supposed to zig, and the Raiders have been doing that. They've been struggling, but you know what? Last week, I feel like they looked the most competent out, even compared to that week one dominance that they show. Oh, Mr. Samuel, what is up, buddy? Thank you for popping by. So, Oakland, I see you. I see the potential that you have. I really like Alshon Genti. I really like Geno Smith. I think he is a fantastic quarterback. He made me fall in love with footwork in the pocket from a quarterback, and his ability to scramble and move around, up, sense pressure was really, really awesome in Seattle last year. So now, once that old line starts to get some continuity and that pass protection and his ability to kind of read that, and everything kind of starts falling into place, you guys might have something going, maybe the next year or the year after, or maybe even late in the season. You guys might be turning some heads. So big ups to the Las Vegas. Did I say the Oakland Raiders? To the Las Vegas Raiders. You guys have been freaking awesome. I think you guys have a ton of raw talent. You guys have been extremely fun to watch this season. You guys have, even regardless in your in your losses and stuff like that, because I watch every single game. I do watch outside of the NFC North. I only watch the condensed version, the 40-minute version of every single play. But from what I get to see, I've had a lot of fun. Those are the games where I'm like, sometimes I make a mistake and put two games back to back that I shouldn't, and I end up almost falling asleep when I'm watching them late on Sunday or on Monday. But whenever I put your guys' game on, I have a lot of fun watching, even if it is sometimes chuckling at the mistakes, because I'm like, oh, you guys had it, man. You guys were like this close. One guy zagged when he needed to zig. Everybody else zigged properly except for one guy, and he gave up that sack. And that was going to be, if he had the time, that could have been a freaking massive bomb down on the side, or a freaking really nice gain, or third down conversion. So you guys are an extremely fun team to watch, and big ups to the Las Vegas Raiders for giving me so much fun while watching your games this season. Next, in the final team, I want to talk. Oh, Mr. Purple Jesus! I want to talk about the last team on this. I think we're going to call it the Dark Horse Diaries, guys. Every Wednesday, we are going to be doing the Dark Horse Diaries. We're going to be putting a spotlight and talking about all the teams that don't get enough love in the mainstream media, in the publications, and in the big YouTube football channels, because they deserve some love. I remember when that was us, when I was constantly upset. Oh, we go out and we freaking hammer the Packers, and we beat them, and then all of a sudden all we hear about is the Chiefs or the Cowboys or everybody else except for us. We get that 30-second blip at the end of the show that nobody ever gets to see about how awesome the Vikings were this weekend, and we don't even get nothing. So that's why, going forward for the rest of the season, every Wednesday night, we are going to be talking that talk about all these other teams that do deserve some love and a place for them to come in and talk, right? So if you guys got friends that are fans for other franchises, let them know so they can come in here, talk their talk in the chat, give me the inside stories that they see that I'm not able to find because of the limited amount of research that I'm able to do on the teams that I want to spotlight in this series going forward, in this segment going forward, right? The last team that I want to talk about. So, needless to say, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. I want to get there by the end of the calendar year. So please, 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 thank you guys. The best way that you guys can support is hanging out for as long as you can on the stream, as well as hitting that like and subscribing. That way it tells the algorithm that this is a fun place, and hopefully it gets out to all the different franchises out there and fan bases. That way they have a place too, guys. They deserve it. Their fan bases show up every single weekend, even when they're losing. just like ours and all the front runners. So let's spread the love and let's spread the positivity and the optimism to every single team out there, because they need it too. Sometimes they need to hear it, especially from other people that aren't part of their own fan base and their own content creators, because it's nice to hear from somebody else that's more objective and it's looking on the outside in. So that's why we're going to be doing this every single Wednesday for the rest of the season. And even in the off season, we're going to talk about when they're doing their stuff, we're going to talk about them too, because it's important to me. I want to be that beacon of positivity and light for the NFL and on YouTube. Now let's move on to my favorite team that I like to talk about, because I have so much like love and freaking high hopes for this team, the New York Giants, guys. The New York Giants. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Giants.com. Let's find a nice little photo of the man of the freaking hour, Mr. Jackson Dart. Here we go. Photos from the roster, the 2025 roster. Here we go. There we go. Oh man, where is he? Where is he? Where's the man? Was that Scatabo? Where is that? Where's Scatabo? Was that Scatabo right here? No, I don't even know his number. That might be right him. Man, this team has been fracking awesome. Hey, did you guys see that freaking touchdown or that sack celebration or whatever that was? I forget what exactly he did, but that celebration, that Spider-Man celebration here was freaking awesome, guys. But you know what? I have a soft spot for these Giants because they remind me so much of our Minnesota Vikings when we had all this raw talent and potential, and we hadn't done anything with it yet. We hadn't started to build consistency. We hadn't started to build continuity, and we were just stealing games here and there. We were losing games that we should win, and it was just a freaking shit show, for lack of a better way. And these New York Giants have continued to push through, and my goodness, they were able to do something fun. There he is, the man of the hour, Mr. Jackson Dart. Let's give it a big hand of applause for Big Blue. You guys, man, what an upset win. I called it a hell of a trap game. I know that I was so close to picking you guys. I couldn't help myself. I had to go with the probabilities, but you guys shocked the world, and you guys showed that you guys are a much better team. And I feel like you guys are going to be showing a lot of that going forward, coming away with some wins. You guys are going to have some struggles. Of course you guys are. Malik Neighbors is out. That sucks so much. And we got I forget who on the coaching staff or in the front office diagnosed with a form of cancer, if I remember correctly. And thoughts and prayers to everybody out there. I really hope that you guys are able to overcome, because I hate seeing that sort of stuff. And so with that being said, man, these freaking Giants have been a freaking fun team to watch, even in their losses, even with freaking Russell Wilson throwing those moon balls out there. I've had a lot of fun watching this team this season, and I can't wait to see them going forward. They've definitely been another one of those teams. When I watch their 40-minute game condensed games, I have a lot of fun watching them. There's a lot of lowlights too, but there's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of flashes, and I'm so excited to see what they can put together. Like I said, the two teams that I said were going to be turning heads this season, not even on the record with like a playoff run or anything like that, but with the flashes that they're going to show, was the New England Patriots and the New York Giants. And they have started to prove me right this year. Guys, they very well could have beat those Steelers. They definitely threw that game away with all the turnovers. And, it is what it is. That is football. When young up and coming teams, their inconsistency. They make mistakes like that, and they will learn from them. Sometimes they need to go through that so they can learn not to do it, and to kind of think outside the box to be able to overcome some of these adversities that they've been dealing with. But what a fantastic win by the New York Giants, as well as those Patriots. Let's be real, 42 points on any team is a lot. So big ups to those guys. And that pretty much does it for me on this last live of the day today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, let your football friends know. That way they can tune in and give me their stories, their inside stories. I want to hear about them. I want to talk with them, and I want to give them as much love because they also deserve it. And that is going to be it for me, guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We are on the grind for 500 subscribers by the end of the calendar year. I really appreciate you guys. I love every single one of you guys, regardless of your point of view, your fan base, regardless. Football is about bringing us together, and that's what we're going to do in this channel. And that's what we're going to do for our fan base and going forward, just being a beacon of positivity and optimism. But we're not going to disregard all the rough spots and things that we need to be aware of. So we are going to try to stay as objective and as informed as we can, so we don't fully drink the purple Kool-Aid, like you say. All right, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We got a whole bunch of segments tomorrow. I believe most likely I will be on my first live between 1 and 2. If not, 4 o'clock is definitely going to be the one of the set times. I found that I'm able to between 3:30 and 4:30. I'm able to consistently be available. So that is going to be one of our locked in times. So always you can expect me live between 3:30 and 4:30. We'll be starting, and we'll be going for at least an hour talking about the things that you guys want to talk about, Minnesota Vikings or other teams related. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really love every single one of you guys. Take care. Hey, thank you, Samuel. Have a great weekend, bro.